Hey y'all, it's me. You already know. It's your girl. Hello everyone, how y'all doing? This is the Real Deal Live. How y'all doing, Real Deal? I'm kind of off a little bit because I got my grandson here, y'all. Look, how could a father kill three of his sons that look like him, walk like him, probably even talk like him? They set his bond for 20 millions. How? How can you shoot your own babies? And you know what they saying, Daddy, please. Daddy, please. Or he could have did it in his sleep. Them his sons, y'all. 3 boys. If he didn't want them, we could have just dropped them off at the hospital, police station, anything. This, I didn't want to do this story. I didn't. It touched, because I get upset of, people like this, just tears me apart. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. I mean, 3 of his sons look like him, walk like him. Let's take a look at this.
Hour with the murder of these 3 young Claremont County boys. Investigators say their father has admitted to shooting and killing all 3 in cold blood. Their ages are 7, 4, and 3. We do have team coverage for you on this tragic situation.
7, 4, and 3. Sons, y'all. Men's that we need in this world. Future men's.
We start with WCPO 9 News reporter Sean Delancey, who is in New Richmond, where a community event is being held for the 3 children who lost their lives. Sean?
Yeah, Tanya, Pastor Robert Wooten just opened the doors here at Connection Point Church in New Richmond for anybody and everybody impacted by this unspeakable tragedy. He says when 3 little boys are senselessly gunned down, people need to be there for one another. Pastor Wooten says that this is a very loose event. There's no real plan or agenda to go by. It's just an open space for people to be together, talk through their grief, pray, whatever you need to help process what few can grapple with, the death of children. His team is right here, right now, to help guide that process. Wooten says whether you knew this family or not, if you're hurting, you are welcome here tonight.
In a small community, everybody feels the pain. Everybody feels the struggle. Everybody feels the emotion. And I think the last night before I went to bed, I told my wife, I said, we got to do something. And it just brought me to the point where we can't just sit by idly and just, we have to act and do something.
Connection Point Church here in New Richmond along Columbia Street will be open tonight as long as is necessary. So if you feel the need to be around others that can help you out, you are welcome to come on down. In New Richmond, I'm Sean Delancey, WCPO 9 News.
All right, Sean, thanks so much. Folks, this is Chad Doerman, the boy's father. He was arrested without incident yesterday. We got body camera video just hours ago showing the moment he was taken into custody. I want you to watch it.
Stand up now! Stand up! Stand up!
He spaced out. They told him to stand up. He just gonna sit there on the porch. That just tear my heart up, y'all. And his 3 babies in there. There's a 3-year-old in there.
Get your hands out here. Come on, 21. It's in there.
You see there, Doerman did not resist once law enforcement got to the scene. He was sitting on the front porch with that rifle nearby and had little to say as he was taken to the cruiser. Claremont County prosecutors say Doerman admitted that he executed his 3 boys one by one. That evidence was presented today at Doerman's bond hearing. I-Team reporter Craig Cheatham has more on the evidence presented in court.
In court, Assistant Prosecutor David Gast said Doerman admitted to shooting and killing his 3 sons. Gast described the crimes as, quote, one of the most monstrous, craven, cowardly acts that will ever be our misfortune to see. Chad Dorman entered the courtroom wearing what one officer called a suicide vest. It was the day after prosecutors say he confessed to shooting and killing his 3 boys.
In an act of just incomprehensible cruelty, the father that stands before you lined up his 3 young boys.
I'm just looking at him. I'm just looking at him. Yo, 3 boys. Boys, something that every man wants. You got 3 you could have made something good out of. Come into court and look stupid. Let me bite my tongue. Let me put my tongue back in my mouth. I'm sorry.
And he executed them in his own home with a rifle.
Assistant Prosecutor David Gast said Dorman told police that one of his boys ran to a nearby field. But Dorman said he got the boy, dragged him back to the property, and killed him. Gast said Dorman also shot his wife in the hand when she grabbed the gun, attempting.
Y'all see that? The wife even tried to save the kids. One child got away and he pulled them back in the house to kill them. Why he killed his sons? Why? You drag your child back into the house, shot your woman and your wife in the hand. Why you ain't kill yourself?
To save her children.
We can't name a person that poses a greater threat to the community.
The judge granted the prosecution's request for a $20 million bond. The case now goes to a grand jury. A pretrial hearing is scheduled for June 26th. In Batavia, Craig Cheatham, WCPO.
Yeah. So now that's what we doing. We taking our own kids out. And then he got a nerve right here, y'all, to cry. Look. He keep crying.
Litter robot.
He
Litter
cried.
robot.
He cried, and the child cried didn't want him to kill him. And he here crying. He jealous of them boys. The own daddy. All right, ladies. This him in
State of Office Chad Dorman, 2023 CRA 1975. This matter is before the court today for purposes of bond hearing. Mr. Callum, you were here on behalf of Mr. Dorman.
Look at
Mr.
his
Callum,
eyes.
Mr. Gadd.
A bond of $75,000 for order conditions to be put. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Callum.
Judge, at this point, I'm going to let Mr. Gast handle the bond for an hour and a half. Thank you.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Judge, we've got law enforcement with us here today. Our office has been involved. Lots of people in our office have been involved.
Okay, I just showed y'all that, but let me see him cry. I want to see him cry.
They were ages 3, 4, and 7, Judge.
You killed your voice.
Desperation to save her children. The mother, at some point, grabbed the gun. The father was able to flee into a field near the home. And again, we know from his admission, father hunted that boy down, drug him back to the property, and executed him in front of witnesses. The mother was shot through the hand in her attempt to protect her children. To just begin to imagine their fear. This was the man that every day they woke up looking to for protection, love, guidance in all things. The man they trust more than any other person on earth. The person they rely upon to keep them safe from harm. He was their world. He was their guardian. And he executed them in cold blood. We know that from his admission. One of the most monstrous, craven, cowardly acts that will ever be our misfortune to see. To make things even more disturbing, Judge, this was no haphazard act. Again, by his own admission, he planned the act on a whim.
You killed your own son.
He's confessed to what I believe is the worst crime, at least I hope,
3.
that I'll see in my lifetime.
A baby.
It's the worst fact pattern that ever comes before this.
3 of your sons.
Judge,
7, 3, and 4.
it's important for the court to know, and Monroe Township Fire and EMS and other first responders bravely respond to the scene where they don't know what's going on.
Why he
They
killing them
do not know
children?
what they're facing, and they come into a
You don't need no bun.
scene that no one can ever.
I'm sorry, yeah.
No law enforcement training,
I'm sorry.
no training of any kind prepares you for this. It's easy to forget that these are men and women with families, children, feelings, emotions. They're not some automaton performing a delegated function. They're people.
He killed his sons, baby.
20-year-old children.
That man
They
shot
held these boys in their
boys.
arms, knowing there was nothing they could do to save them.
Go tell TJ.
How long do those scars last? What day do you wake up from that? And did he have access to a weapon? Yes, obviously he did. The weight of the evidence against the defendant at this point, Judge, we stand here with a full admission of the defendant. That also goes to the confirmation of the defendant's identity, and witnesses on scene did see at least part of what happened. Next, the court is to consider the likelihood this person would return to court if a bond were issued. Again, this is the most heinous crime with the most severe penalty under the law that we present to the grand jury. That alone would be a major factor in discouraging a person from availing themselves to this court or any other. And the thought to flee and the likelihood of flight is great in the state's opinion. The danger he poses to the community is a factor that this court can consider, and I think with the facts in front of you, Judge, we can't name a person that poses a greater threat to the community. As his prior record goes, Judge, it is fairly minimal. He was charged with domestic violence in 2010.
What?
He is not, to my knowledge, on probation community control. Judge, the facts of this case are hopefully like no other we will ever see. When this case gets indicted in the court of common pleas, I am certain that a no bond hearing will be held, and I would hope that would be granted. But at this point, this juncture, we're going to ask this court to issue a bond we've never asked for before. I'm going to ask for a bond of $20 million. I hope I never need to request such a bond again.
Thank you. Date for preliminary hearing?
Date for the preliminary hearing, Judge, is 6/26.
No objection, Your Honor.
The preliminary hearing will be set for June 26th at 1 p.m.
Okay, y'all, we will be watching it at 1:20, June the 26th at 1 p.m. We will be watching it. I mean, how could a man take his three beautiful, lovely 3-year-old, a 3-year-old, y'all, a 3, my grandson 4, a 3, what a 3-year-old can do to you? What a 7-year-old can do to you? What a 4-year-old can do to you? What? One ran and you dragged him back in the house. Nearly shot the mama arm off. Y'all real deal, y'all tell me what y'all think. What do y'all think about this?
At this point in time, bond's going to be set in the amount of $20 million cash or surety. Anything else at this time, Mr. Gast?
No, Judge.
Mr. Gale? Mr. Kalman, anything further?
Nothing at this
All
time.
right, thank you.
Now you looking crazy. Take your butt back there and sit down. Crazy self. What he mumming his mouth for? He ain't got no $20 million, and y'all better not get him out either. I'm sorry, y'all. He don't make me mad. What his name? Chad DOERMAN? Let me see. What his name? Chad DOERMAN. Okay, so I'm gonna put how could he ain't no father. How could Chad DOERMAN? I'm gonna put his name right. That ain't fathers don't do this. How could Chad DOERMAN? If that's how you spell his name, y'all. This stuff like this kind of tear me up. Three sons. Every man wished for a son. Every man. Every man wished for a son. What are we gonna do, y'all? A $20 million bond? You don't need nothing. This man shot out 3 of his sons, dragged one up in the house. The 3-year-old, a baby. How could Chad DOERMAN unalive 3 of his sons and receive a bond for $20 million? Real deal, y'all please put in the chat. Y'all, we got to talk about this. Talk about it. YouTube, please let us talk about this. Because they killing their kids every day. Y'all, I love y'all. If y'all got going through anything, find somebody you could talk to. Put it down in the chat. Find someone to talk to. When you're going through hard time, when you're struggling and you don't know what to do, don't make it be this kind of excuse for your children. I'm out, y'all.